hello. 10.7 circles in the coordinate plane. All right then. Hey, remember this right here is a right triangle. Is this a right triangle? We can use the Pythagorean theorem. This distance this distance squared plus that distance squared equals that distance for a right triangle. But now, what if this is a circle? That's your center. So the equation of a circle, the standard equation of a circle with the center right there, h comma k, that's going to be your center. And a radius r is given by that formula right there. So you just take your value of x and subtract h, the center. So it's basically this value right here. This is your x minus h. That's your center. Take that quantity and square it. And you add this distance squared. That distance. This is your x and y value. That's your center, h and k, right here. Okay. R is going to be right there. So what does that mean? I don't understand. Okay, let me show you some things. When you see it, you go, oh, that's nuts. Looks a lot harder than it is. Write a standard equation for a circle with center at 0, 3 and radius is 6 units. So the center is 0, 3 and the radius is 6. Oh, so I just go x minus h. In this case, your center, hk. That's your center, h, k. Bonk. Center. So it's x minus h. H is 0. Square it. Plus y minus k. K is a 3. Square that quantity. Equals the radius squared. Radius squared. 6 squared. Now, can you simplify that? Yeah, that right there can be rewritten like this. That can be rewritten as x squared. This cannot be simplified, so you get y minus 3 quantity squared equals 6 squared. I want you to leave it as 6 squared. I do not want you to write it as 36. Okay, that's it, you're done. Boom, boom, boom. Fin. Next. You can't even scream that out there. Write a standard equation for a circle with the center negative 6, 2 and a radius of 3. Okay, same formula. X minus, here's your center, it's h, k. H is the x value, k is the y value. H is going to be negative 6. And then we square it. We square it. Plus y minus k. Y minus k. K is a 2. 2. Square that quantity. Squared. Equals r squared. The radius is 3, so 3 squared. We just have to simplify it if we can. That can be rewritten as x plus 6 quantity squared plus y minus 2 quantity squared equals 3 squared. Leave it as 3 squared. I do not want you to write it as 9. Leave it as 3 squared. That's it. Done. All right, next one. Write the standard equation for a circle. That's your standard equation for a circle. With the center at point 3, negative 11, and a point on the circle is negative 4, 11. So we now put it right here. It's right there. I don't need to rewrite it. It's right there. X. This is the center is right here. This is your h and your k. A point on the circle is this right here. That's your x value and that's your y value. So this point, any point on the circle, that's your x and y. So right here, at that point right there, that is your value of x and y. That's your x and y. That is your center, h, k. Just plug those values into this formula. Okay, so you take x, that's your x, negative 4 minus h, h is 3, quantity squared, plus your y value minus k. Your y value is right there, negative 11 minus k. Your k value is negative 11 squared equals r squared. R. We don't know what r is. We have to figure that out. This is a negative 7 squared. This becomes a negative minus 11, a negative and a negative. Those two right there cancel, so that they'll make a positive. Negative 11 plus 11 squared equals r squared. This is the same as negative 7 squared plus 0 equals r squared. That's going to be 49 equals r squared, which is the same as 7. When you take the square root of both sides, r equals plus or minus 7, but hey, this is a distance. Distance is never negative. So we can say that negative 7, get rid of it. The radius is 7. Okay, so we now know the radius is 7. Radius equals 7. So now we can write the equation. The center is right there, so the equation is going to be x minus h minus 3 quantity squared plus y minus k. K is a minus 11 quantity squared equals r squared. What was r? 7. Can we simplify this? Yeah, right there. So we get x minus 3 plus y plus 11 squared equals 7 squared. Bada bing, bada bang, bada boom. Leave it like this. I do not want to see it as 49. I want to see it as 7 squared. So when I look at this and I go, oh, I know where the center of this circle is. It's at 3, negative 11. And the radius is 7 units. Okay, boom. Alrighty then. Now, same thing. Write the standard equation for a circle with the center at negative 12, negative 5, and a point on the circle is negative 3, negative 5. What? Here's your center. There's your H, and there's your K. A point on the circle, that's an X and a Y. X, Y. HK is your center. Your X, Y. Any point on the circle, you can make it. If I pick it right there, you can go zzz, zzz, zzz. There you go. It works. Pythagorean theorem, that squared plus that squared equals your radius squared. It could be any point on the circle. There's your radius. You can say, there's your x squared, there's your y squared, and there's your radius squared. Any point, that's going to be your x and y. Okay, x and y. So we can take the formula. The formula is going to be right here. Good thing I wrote it down earlier. Boom, right there for us. X minus h. X is negative 3 minus h. H is negative 12. The quantity squared plus y minus k. Your y is a negative 5 minus k. K is a negative 5 equals r. We don't know what r is. Okay. This is going to be a negative 3 plus 12. This is going to be negative 5 plus 5. This is going to be a 9. That's a 0 squared. Do I really want to go? That's 81, and the radius is 9. If you want to do it the hard way, 9 squared is 81. Take the square root of both sides. R equals plus or minus 9. And since it's a circle, radius is a distance. It cannot be negative. So now we know the radius is positive 9. Radius equals 9 units. Now we can write the equation. The center's right there. So x minus a negative 12 squared plus y minus a negative 5 squared equals the radius squared. Bada bing, bada bing, bada boom. Okay, we can simplify that. That's going to be x plus 12 plus y plus 5 quantity squared equals 81. Nope. I want you to write it as 9 squared. Bada bing, bada bang, bada boom. There's your answer. Here's the equation of a circle with the center at negative 12, negative 5. Point on the circle is negative 3, negative 5. The radius is going to be 9 units. All right, next one. Prove or disproves the statement. So the point 2, 8 lies on a circle centered at the origin with the radius 6. What? So it's 3 points. You got this point. Lies in the circle centered at the origin. There's your center. So your center, what? That's another way of saying your center is right here. There's your H, there's your K, here's your X, here's your Y. There's your R. X, Y is going to be 2, 8. H, K is going to be 0, 0, the origin. And your radius is 6. Write the formula. X2 minus 0, quantity squared, plus 8 minus 0, quantity squared, equals 6 squared. Is this a true statement or not? Question mark. If this is true, then that's a true statement. If this is false, that's a false statement. That's going to be 2 squared. That's going to be 8 squared. That's 6 squared. 4 plus 64 and 36. That's 68. This is 36. And they're not equal, which means that's not a true statement. We've disproved. This is a false statement. Statement. Put a box around your answer. Done. Okay, last one right here. Where we go? The point square root of 6, 2 lies on the circle, centered at the origin and containing the point 3, negative 1. What? How? Where's the? Boom. Origin. So that means this is a point on the circle. Ooh, there's another point. So we have to do things twice here. So we're going to have to say, there's your origin, 0, 0. That's your H, that's your K. So we're going to use the formula. What was that formula? I don't know. It's in your notes somewhere. So x minus h quantity squared plus y minus k quantity squared equals r squared. It's right there. Sorry. It's my own notes. I completely forgot about that. All right, here we go. Okay. X, y. So x is square root of 6. Square root of 6 minus h plus y, 2 minus k, k is 0, equals r squared. Do we know what's r? I don't know. Square root of 6 minus 0 is just square root of 6. 2, that's 2, equals r squared. Square root of 6 squared is 6. 2 squared is 4. This is going to be 10. So r squared equals 10. That means r equals, can't be negative because it's a radius, so we can say r in this case r is square root of 10, using just this step. Now, will it be the same if we use this and this? Let's try that again. Have to do it again after this earthquake. Okay, do the same thing with the same formula. We'll go, this is your point xk for this round, xy. That's your xy. That's still your center, hk. Plug it into the formula. x3 minus h0 plus y, -1, minus k, quantity squared equals r squared. This is going to be 3 squared. That's going to be -1 squared. So 3 squared is 9. -1 squared is -1. -1 squared is +1. Square both sides. R equals plus or minus square root of 10. But it's a radius, so we can get rid of that negative. So a radius, in this case, is square root of 10. Now, in both cases, if the radius is the same, that's a true statement. If these radiuses are different, then that's a false statement. Are these radii the same, or are these radii different? They're the same, which means, since they're the same, the radius is the same, that's a true statement. True. Colors by Cyndi Lauper? No. True statement. Sorry. True statement. Bada bing, bada bang, bada boom. Boom! Done. 17 minutes. Hasta la